I'm playing Street Fighter 6 for 3 major streams. Yesterday was the premiere. We got 2 more days, including today and tomorrow. And what I can tell you is this. The Street Fighter 6 beta, alright, is getting better and better. And the reason being is, unlike the first session that I played in October, where I was trying to essentially re-immerse myself in modern fighting games. I was trying to absorb everything that I had either lost, or trying to just absorb new knowledge of how this game worked, because I hadn't played Street Fighter 5. I skipped most of it after the first year, so I was completely out of the loop. And so, you know, I learned a lot, but I didn't really utilize all of the new systems, because Street Fighter 6 has many new systems, including Drive Impact, Drive Counter, Drive Cancel, you know, and a parry as well. So there's like 4 new systems implemented in the game that I needed to learn. And I didn't really understand or learn them until my final session of Street Fighter 6 in October. So I played all weekend, 6 sessions. You know, that's a lot. It's 15 hours of gameplay. It wasn't until the final 2 hours of gameplay that it started to click. And I understood the new things, and then I ran out of time to play. So yesterday, after having spent a little bit of time the night before researching and basically watching my own videos from back in October, and saying, oh yeah, that's what Drive Impact is. Oh yeah, this is like a basic combo that would work. I jumped back in yesterday with Ryu, and let me tell you guys something. If you were not here yesterday, or if you haven't watched the videos on demand yet, if you want to talk about night and day difference, I don't think there's been much of a bigger turnaround. I did really well. Now, did I win every match? Absolutely not. There's actually some things in the game that are I'm pretty stumped right now as to how to combat. The new Drive Cancel system, where essentially someone can keep attacking and then dash out and keep attacking and dash out and keep attacking again. I'm punching my mic. I'm so excited. I don't really know how to beat it yet. Now, obviously, each new thing in the system of Street Fighter 6 takes a meter to do, so you can't do it infinitely. But at the same time, it seems like a lot of the abilities, like Drive Impact and Drive Cancel, they don't use a lot of meter. So, you know, people can pretty much almost use them infinitely, which makes it like almost endless rushdown. And it's like, dude, like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm at a loss. I was fighting 1 or 2 players yesterday who were using this new Drive Cancel to really good effect, and I couldn't figure out at all how to really beat it. It was like throwing me for a loop. Now, in addition, there's a new character called Luke. Now, Luke was present in Street Fighter 5. I don't know how similar he is in Street Fighter 6 to Street Fighter 5. I don't have a clue how to beat him yet. It seems like this character has a almost instant full-screen projectile. At the same time, if he meter burns it, meaning if he does the powered-up version of it, it blows through many, many moves and cancels other projectiles out. In addition to that, from mid-screen, he's incredibly dominant. He has tons of normal moves, or just normal punches and kicks, that pretty much are high priority and high... Basically, they're so fast and so prioritized, they will stuff most other people's moves. And if he even connects with one, he gets a free combo. So imagine someone who, when they're right near you, they always are dominant. And then when they're far away, they can also control the game. Like, I'm at a loss as to where he isn't in an advantageous situation. But again, he's a character I never fought before, so I'm trying to learn, and maybe that's my problem. Maybe my problem is having little to no experience against this character. That's why I don't understand how to beat him, okay? Also, there's something interesting, alright? So, the thing is, when you look at the Street Fighter 6 beta, look at the character selection. Ryu and Ken, the 2 staple Shotokan karate characters that have been in there since day 1, right? Since the original Street Fighter. Chun-Li, the original female from Street Fighter 2. Makes sense. Guile, the real American, the true and blue charge character. You know, he's been a staple since Street Fighter 2. Not surprising, he's in it, right? But then they mixed it up. They had Juri from Street Fighter 4 and 5. They've got Luke from Street Fighter 5. They've got 2 new characters in Kimberly and Jamie, who are just completely new, added to the mix because they've never been in Street Fighter before, correct? But you notice there's a startling missing gap in the gameplay, okay? For example, out of all the characters I just mentioned, Kimberly is pure rushdown, pretty much. Rushdown and mix-ups, okay? You would argue Luke is probably rushdown and or mid-screen domination. Ryu and Ken can be played as zoning mid-range as well as up close. Chun-Li, I would say, is kind of a mix-up character in this one with combos and things. Guile is definitely a more defensive style character. But, number one, there are 0 grapplers. 0 in this beta, right? And grapplers, traditionally, there's 2 ways grapplers can be played. Either a grappler has what's called super armor, where that grappler can absorb a few hits and then get off a great, throw that is highly damaging. Or their throws have a weird priority so that they kind of cancel out a lot of other moves. So I'll give you an example here. Luke. I'm having problems right now trying to figure out how to beat Luke. It very well could be that when the meta of this game comes out, when the final game is out, that grapplers beat him. That even though he's dominant from mid-range with his normals, maybe a grappler says, screw that, and just grabs right through them, right? But there's 0 grapplers. So without having a grappler in the game, you have absolutely no clue if grapplers will be any good or not in the final game, nor do you know maybe if, some of these characters that seem dominant now may not be so dominant. Kimberly as well, rushdown character. But what if a grappler just says, screw that, and every time she's close, yoink, got her, right? In fact, if you've taken a look at this new character, Manat, is it Manat or Manat? I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's supposed to be the French ballerina, okay? It seems like her style is a combination of reach, but she's also a grappler. So she has setups where she'll do a couple of moves, and then you're in a throw range. And now she has options to either throw or do a mix-up that leads to a big combo. Okay? So that might completely change the gameplay entirely. Right? You don't even know how she's going to play. That's what I mean. Not Manat. Did I say Manat? That's not her name. What's her name? What is the character's name? Not Manat. I'm thinking of the Streetfighter 5 character. What's the new character's name? The ballerina. The French ballerina. It starts with M, doesn't it? Whatever. I can't remember her name. I mean, the game's not out yet. People aren't saying it in the chat. But, Manon. Thank you, Manon. Is it Manon or Manon? I don't know I don't know how to pronounce it. I never heard a single person say it. I don't know if it's Manon or Manon. But, yeah, she seems like a unique character build. Maybe never even seen a character like this in Street Fighter before. Okay? That could totally change how this game ends up being played. Okay? So what I think is, when I'm playing this beta, and I'm like, man, I really just can't get my head around Luke, what do you do? Maybe that's just simply because the characters in it aren't very good against Luke. Maybe there will be much better matchups against Luke, and maybe some of the characters that I'll end up playing with, like, for example, when I think, who are the characters that I would likely try out first? Zangief, Honda, Blanca, these are the characters that come to my mind, because these are the classics from Street Fighter 2 that were kind of the weird, unique, oddball characters. I like playing with the unique, oddball characters. That's who I used to always focus on. Okay? So, very much, this could be something that changes once either future betas come out with different characters in them, or when the final game comes out in June. So, what I would say is, after yesterday's stream, wow, this is cool, because now I'm remembering how to use drive impact. I'm using the drive cancels. Even the drive counter, which is basically the alpha counter. When you're being attacked and you're getting, locked down, you could blow through that with a big reversal elbow or whatever it is with each character and knock the enemy away. The one thing I would say that I haven't figured out yet is the parry system. I know how to parry. I have successfully parried, but I don't really know how it's supposed to be implemented. In the Street Fighter 3 series, when parries were first invented and introduced to fighting games, the way they worked is when an enemy was attacking you, you would either tap forward on your joystick or down on your joystick, depending on up or down parry. And if you timed it properly, your character would stop the incoming attack, create a freeze frame, almost like a slow-mo quick-time situation, where now you could counterattack that character. Didn't always work, especially if the character was already doing a combo or was doing a multi-hit move. But for the most part, if you parried a move, you were guaranteed to get a counter hit that would lead to a big damage punish combo. In Street Fighter 6, when you parry, you basically you stop their incoming movement. But basically that's it. It doesn't seem like there's any follow-up. Like, you're not available then to do your own follow-up move. It just seems like you parry, and then that's it, the parry's done. So I was a few times yesterday, I tried to parry and do something, and nothing really happened. It just a parry, and that was it. So, perhaps the parry is literally just, get rid of those full-screen projectiles. Someone's trying to lock you down with full-screen projectiles, just parry them. That's it. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just a simple system to avoid, projectile lockdown. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. The more I play, the more I try to figure it out, okay? Big Papa Phil says you have to parry within a certain amount of frames, then the parry will slow down and you can follow up. Is that true? Interesting. So it seems maybe the parry is good, but you have to really get good at it, right? You have to really master the timing. All right, so things to dabble with today, right? Like, I think drive counter, I'm pretty good at. That's the alpha counter to get out of when you're getting rushed down. Drive counter, or drive impact, I'm getting better at usage of. And I think that far less people are just spamming drive impact this beta. At least yesterday from what I saw, there were way less people just spamming. I think now I gotta learn the drive cancel and the parry. That's what I really have to get better at, okay? But anyway, yesterday's Street Fighter 6 stream went incredibly well. And here's what I mean by that. Attendance on the stream was great. Engagement on the stream was great. Support of the stream was great. Gameplay quality was great. Did I lose? Yes, I did. I lost to a lot of Lukes, and I actually lost to anyone who basically was using kind of the drive cancel. Pretty much beat me. But I did really well. My initial ranking, I got platinum, okay? And continued to play at the platinum level and actually hang. It wasn't like, oh, now I play people at platinum and they just spanked me like this. It actually was good matches. Sometimes I won, sometimes I lost. The final set that I had was against Jay Viscant. He pronounced it Visant, but you spell it Viscant. Everyone says Viscant, but it's actually, you pronounce it Visant. Jay Visant Snyder, who used to be a world champion. He actually was the world champion of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 during the EVO era of about 10 years ago. But back in the day, just like me, he used to be a variety Street Fighter player. He played games such as Capcom vs. SNK 2 at a high competitive level. And I don't know how much of in line with Street Fighter 5 he was. I have absolutely no idea, you know, how much he played Street Fighter 5. As you know, I played none. But it seemed to me like when we were playing, we were kind of on the same level. Like we both were learning and didn't really understand everything yet, which made it be a highly competitive match. We went back and forth, and he did beat me, but it was super duper close down to the absolute final hit. It was like, wow, what a great set. And I haven't had a good set against someone good like that in so long that it kind of like, it made me feel good. Feel like, damn, this is how it used to be. I used to go to tournaments, it used to always be like this. And now I've actually had a really awesome set. It kind of reinvigorates you. Wow, you get those juices flowing again. It's like, this is cool, man. I honestly wish that this game was coming out sooner. The fact that we got this beta this weekend, then we're going to have to wait for probably another 2 months for another beta, and then maybe a final beta, and then it comes out in June, like, that's fine, but man, I wish it was coming out in, like, February. Because I'm ready for it. Already, I'm ready to jump in and do offline gameplay, online gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready for it, and we got to wait. And that's kind of disappointing that there's going to be a long wait in early 2023, okay?